Today we see about the database normalization. I am Russell BV, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology in Fatima College. Today we see about the database normalization. First you are going to be what is normalization. First definition of the normalization. This is the process which allows you to bring now out redundant data within your database. This involves restructuring the tables to successively meeting higher forms of normalization. First is what is the use of the normalization? It is used to the redundancy of the table. That means it is a duplications avoid in the table. If any duplication records occurs in the table, you can eliminate that duplicate data. It is the use of the normalization. So a properly normalized database should have the following characteristics. First, it is the scalar values in each field, absence of redundancy, minimal use of null values, minimal loss of information. These are all the characteristics of the normalization. What are the levels of normalization? So these are all the first normal form, then it is going to the up to the domain key normal form. So first it is the levels of normalization. It is based on the amount of redundancy in the database. It is the various levels of normalization. It is the first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, Boyce code normal form, fourth normal form, fifth normal form, and last one is the domain key normal form. But it is usually in the order. You can going to be most database it should have be 3NF or BCNF in order to avoid the database anomalies. So this is the characteristics. It is what is the complexity, number of tables, that is then lastly it is redundancy of the table. So these are all the levels of normalization. So each higher level is a subset of the lower level. That means it is the 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, 4NF, then this is a 50NF. So these are all the subset of the levels of the lower level. So it is the first normal form. So first normal form, it should have a atomic value. If one table occur in a data, in the data it should be must be the atomic value. So a table is considered to be in 1NF if all the fields contain only scalar values. That means if for example it is the one table, it is the book table, it is the going to the ISBN number, title, author name, author phone number. So here in author name and author phone number columns are not scalar because it is the multiple value occur in that field. So you can going to be decomposition of the table. That field it should have the atomic value. So again going to be now it is going to the decomposition of the table. So how can going to be decomposition? That means it is place all items that appear in the repeating group in a new table. After that you can going to be set the primary key of each new table. It is going to be produced. So the duplicate in the new table, the primary key of the table from which the repeating group was extracted or vice versa. For example, it is the ISB, it is a table, it is going to be decomposition into two tables. So first table it is the ISBN, title, public name, public phone number, price. In the second table it is only have the ISBN number, then author name, it is the author phone number. So here it is the ISBN number in the primary key of this table and is the foreign key of this table. So you can going to be each value, that means it is the each field it should have a atomic value. So now this table it is the 1N, now that means it is a first normalization. What is functional dependency means? one set of attributes in a table determines another set of attributes in the table. Then the second set of attributes should be functionally dependent on the first set of attributes. For example, the table scheme, ISBN, title and price. So the ISBN, in the title, it is functionally depends on the ISBN. That means it is the function dependency. It is a set of ISBN. It is function dependent on title. That means in the title should function dependent on the ISBN. Then in the price must function dependent on the ISBN. This is the functional dependency. So this is the most important points of the normalization. So in this next example, for example, it is the publication ID, publication name, publication phone number. So in the publication phone number should function dependent on the publication ID. That means it is same as the publication name function dependent on the publication ID. So in the publication name and publication phone number function dependent on the publication ID. So these are all the example of the functional dependency of the normalization. So this is the example. So what is the functional dependency? So for example, I can take the one database review for papers. So review of papers, it will going to be submitted on academic conference. So this conference submit the paper of the authors for review and possible acceptance in the published conference proceedings. So what are the details of the entities means? It is the author information. So that author information includes the unique author number, name, then mail address. It is the email address. It is the option of that unique ID. After that, you can go into paper information, includes the primary author, paper number, title, abstract and review status. That means it is the it is going to be pending or accepted or rejected. So these are all the I can going to be take the one example of the functional dependency. It is the paper of the review. So this is all the informations about that paper. Now again going to be informations collected the conference paper. It is the author number. So the author name, author you can going to be won't take the author number now. It automatically it is going to be the author name, author email ID, the author address. Then author email, it is dependent on the author. That means it is author number dependent on the author mail ID. So these are all the function dependency of the example of the function dependency. Next is going to the second normal form. So second normal form, it should be contained the first normal form and also it is the non-key attributes. That means it is a two requirements it is going to be needed of the second normal form. First in the database it should be in the first normal form. After that all non-key attributes in the table must be functionally dependent on the entire primary key. For example, it is going to be we are dealing with the non-key attributes. Again going to be take one example. For example, it is scheme. In the scheme it is going to be a title, publication ID, author ID, price, then author address. What are the key? That means it is going to be a title, publication ID, author ID. So this price is function dependent on the title, publication ID, author ID. So this is not in the 2n now because it is not in the first normal form. It is all non-key prime attributes. It is function dependent on the entire prime key. So it is going to be decomposition of that table. So it is not in the, these are all the example of the not second normal form in the table. So this table is not in the form of the second normal form. So it can going to be decomposition of the table. So how can going to be decomposition? That means it is a fully function dependent only part of the primary key. Move the data item and that part of the primary key to a new table. If other data items are function dependent on the same part of the key, place them in the new table also. So make the partial primary key copied from the original table, the primary key for the new table. So place all items that appear in the repeating group in a new table. So again going to be converted to enough. That means it is the old scheme. It means going to be a title, publication ID, author ID, price and the author address. So title, publication ID, author ID, it is one kind of the set of prime key attributes. After that it is the These are all the new scheme of the decomposition of the second normal form. So studio, that means these are all the examples of the converter to the second normal form. Next, it is going to the third normal form. So third normal form, it is also include the second normal form, and what are the requirements? That means it is the non-key attributes of a table must be functionally dependent on a candidate key. That means there can be no interdependencies among non-key attributes. For a table in a TNF, there are two requirements: that should be a second normal form. No attribute is transitively dependent on the primary key. For example, this table can going to be taken as one table. For what's the table? It means it's not in the 3NF. That means it is the title and publication ID as the key. At the page count, it is function dependent on the title and publication ID. Then both price and page count depend on the key. Hence, it is a second normal form. But transitively, title publication ID is going to be price, hence not in the 3N. That means this no attribute is transitively dependent. So, it can going to be decomposition of the table. So, move all items involved in a transit dependency to a new entity. So, identify a primary key for the new entity. Place the primary key for the new entity as a foreign key on the original entity. So, for example, it is going to be converted to the 3NF. So, this table must be in the third normal form. That means it is a title, publication ID, then page count and the price. The new scheme, what are the taken going to be now? It is publication ID, page count and the price, then title, publication ID, then page count. So, again going to be decomposed of the two table. Next, it is going to the Boyce Court normal form. So, Boyce Court normal form does not allow dependencies between attributes that belong to candidate keys. So, what are the candidate keys? Means is the one table. If the more than one set of keys, it is going to the super key. So, the subset of super key is called the candidate key. So, this candidate key must not allow the dependencies between the attributes. So, that means it is a refinement of the third normal form in which it drops the restriction of a non-key attribute from the third normal form. So, in the third normal form and BCNF are not same if the conditions are true. What are the conditions? Means the table has two or more candidate keys. At least two of the candidate keys are composed of more than one attribute. The keys are not disjoint, that is, the composite candidate keys have some attributes. For example, you can take the one table, which is the address table. So, address table, it is not in the BCNF. What are the schemes? That means it is a city, street, zip code. So, what are the key can going to be set? Means it is a city and a street. Another key, it is a zip code and a street. So, no non-key attribute, hence 3NF. But it is a city and a street, it gives the zip code, and that means it is a zip code function dependent on the city and the street, and the city function dependent on the zip code. So, dependency between attributes belonging to a key. So, this is not the BCNF. So, again going to be decomposition of the table. So, how can going to be decomposition the table? That means it is a place the two candidate primary keys in separate entities. Place each of the remaining data items in one of the resulting entities according to its dependency on the primary key. For example, I can going to be converted to the BCNF. Old scheme, city, street, zip code. Now we can going to be decomposition of the table. It can going to be two table. How can going to be taken the zip code and the street, it is the one table. Under that city and the street, it is the another table. But this is the loss of relation. What is it mean? It is a zip code to city. That means it is a transitively, not is a dependent. So, I can going to be alternate of the table. It is what is the zip code and the street and the zip code and the city. So, you can going to be to scheme of the decomposition. If any loss of information occur in the table, in the original table, it comes under the normalization. So decomposition loss of information means, so what is the loss of information? If decomposition does not cause any loss of information, it is called the lossless decomposition. If a decomposition does not cause any dependencies to be lost, it is called a dependency preserving decomposition. So any table scheme can be decomposed in a lossless way into a collection of smaller schemas that are in BCNF form. However, the dependency preservation is not guaranteed. So any table can be decomposed in a lossless way into third normal form that also preserves the dependency. So third normal form may be better than BCNF in some cases. These are the decomposition of BCNF. Now we can going to be converted BCNF. That means it is a old scheme. It is a movie title, movie ID, person name, and role and payment. What are the new scheme? That means it is a movie ID, personal name. It is the key, super keys of the table, and the role. It is the payment. It is the non-primary key attribute. Another table, it is the movie title, then person name. It is a lossless preservation, that means it is a loss of relation, movie ID, that means it is a movie title. So you can going to be new scheme of the table. So these are all the converted into the BCNF. Next it is going to the fourth normal form. So fourth normal form eliminates independent many-to-one relationship between columns. So to be in fourth normal form, a relation must be in the Boyce Court normal form. A given relation may not contain more than one multivalued attribute. For example, it is not a fourth normal form because of the scheme movie name, screening, city, genre. Then it is a primary key. These are all the primary key. So all columns are part of the only candidate key, hence it is the BCNF. But many movies can have the same general relation. That means it is the comedy or drama or horror. That many cities can have the same movie. So it is going to be violate the fourth normal form. So these are all the decompositions of the fourth normal form. So move the two multival relations to separate tables. Identify a primary key for each of the new entity. So you can going to be convert the third normal form, that is it is going to be decomposition of the fourth normal form. So it is movie and general and movie and screen city. So these are all the decompositions of that fourth normal form. These are all the examples, another examples of the converted table of the fourth normal form. Thank you.